Welcome back to Claudette's Craft Corner. Okay, so I did a little tag sailing. I don't know, some of you may actually follow both of my channels, so you might see a couple of repeats here. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this. This box, everything in here is basically, it was for me either decorating or my fabric stash to add to my fabric stash. So I'll just get right into it. So this first item is this little door hanger. Now, the sales that we went to, it did rain a little bit. It was like a misting rain Saturday morning. So I think what happened was it was a community sale, and a lot of them just decided, okay, we're going to put the stuff out there and just put it out for free because they didn't want to bother, sitting out there if it was going to rain or anything. And actually, when we went through, it wasn't bad. There really wasn't any rain by the time we started going through, which was like, God, I think it was around 11 that we started, because I didn't think anyone was going to run because it had rained pretty steady earlier in the morning. So I figured everyone would have just but then we thought, okay, we got to go out anyways. Some people might have it inside their garage, so they might still run. So we went, and to our surprise, there was a lot running. But most of them just had the tables out, the stuff on the tables, with a free sign. And I'm like, oh, yay. Okay. So this was one of the free items, which was wonderful. I love finding things like this. This is one reason why we tend to hit things like this, and this is why we have such a massive amount of decorations, because a lot of people, they just want to get rid of it. And me and my husband just love to collect it. Yeah, he's like Christmas crazy. I pick up anything related to Halloween. I love Halloween stuff. Um, for a while we just had a ton of Christmas. We didn't have much for Halloween, but then I started picking it up at tag sales and things. So very few items, decorations, and that have I picked up at stores. If I need something specific for a costume or something like that, I might go to a store and get something if I can't find it anywhere else. But for the most part, most of my Halloween is from tag sales. Okay, so this is a very nice table runner, and it does appear to be handmade. Just one single panel down the middle, and then this wonderful, and I'll see if I can get up close enough so you can see it. Very nice work here. There we go. Around the edging, so I'm not sure. This is what it looks like on the back. So what I'm thinking is this might have come in a roll, the outer edge, and somebody probably just sewed it on, maybe with a serger. I don't know. I haven't really worked with a serger, but that's kind of what it looks to me like. Plus, there's absolutely no tags on the inside of this. So it really makes me think that this was handmade. So if this doesn't make it to my own table, what I usually like to do with things like this is I like to reverse engineer it so that I can see if I can figure out how to make one of my own. Wait 1 second. I'll be editing that out, or I'll try to. Okay. All right. So very nice table runner. And let's see. Oh, yes. And here we have a turkey with a pumpkin, or sitting on a pumpkin, I guess. It is a planter. Very nice lady. She was standing there, and she said, yeah, basically like 3/4 of her stuff there was free. This was one of the free items, and I just loved it. There's just one little chip of paint right here. So I don't know if I'll put a plant in it. I'm thinking I'm going to wash it out. And I thought, wow, maybe I'll just put like a bundle of napkins around Thanksgiving on the table, and that'll be like my napkin holder or something. Or I don't think utensils would do too well because you can't get too many in here, but try to think of something. But I just love it. I mean, I believe I have one. It's a lot smaller. And the fan tail had been cracked, and I didn't notice that till after I got it. I think I got it at a quarter from a tag sale previously, but somebody did repair it, so you don't really notice it, but there is a crack through the back of the tail. So this one's bigger. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just set them out together. But yeah, no, I can't wait for some of the holiday stuff to come up. The more organized that I'm getting with my decorations, the more that I feel like I'm going to be able to, when that time comes around, I'll be able to grab a tote and say, okay, this one is for September or whatever, and these are my September decorations. That's my initial goal, is to have a tote, at least one tote of decorations per month, that I can just put out upstairs. And it's taken a while because I got a lot of sorting to do. But okay. All right, so I picked these up. Little fairy figures. I would like to do some kind of a fairy garden. I don't know if I'm going to do it in the front of the house or in the back. It's hard to say. I mean, it's very nice in the front of my house. There's a whole bunch of hostas, and it's nice and shaded there most of the day, but I don't tend to sit out front much. So wherever I'm going to do this, I want it to be where I'm going to spend some time, sitting there in that. But our house, the way it's positioned in that by the road, and it's just strange to me because what is supposed to be the front of the house feels more like it should be the back of the house. And it's kind of strange, but I still love the house. Anyways, so I've been picking up little things here and there to maybe do a fairy garden. And these don't sit upright themselves. So what I'm thinking is maybe I have some containers, the garden containers. Like I have one that I put green peppers and tomatoes in. And I'm thinking that the little ledge that is right there, like this I could probably put on there. The ledge, it's got a wide ledge, like an inch wide. So I'm thinking these will sit on that ledge pretty good. Like this one won't sit on this box, but there's not enough there for her to sit on. So I believe that's what I'm going to do with those. And got these. Now, when I first initially got to this tag sale, this, I think that, yeah, everything else in here is what was actually in the box. And somewhere on here, this $2 is from something else. It said, box of fabric, $4. Okay, now, you've seen a lot of my fabric. I still have to put it in some kind of order. It's in sort of order right now, but I started going through this and I found these two pieces that I liked a lot. Now, I am really drawn to fall type stuff, as you saw with the other table runner piece. Now, this one, I wasn't sure. I don't know if this is... Maybe it was going to be... Okay, maybe it's just another table runner. Okay, so I must have got that out of this box as well, because it looks like somebody was getting it ready to put another edge, or maybe this is the edge for this one. So I probably use this and put it in my fabric stash, and maybe put a different edging around it. Or I will cut it up and use it within a quilt, like a fall themed quilt. Okay, so this piece and this one is just some yardage. And it's just all these flags. Let's see, let me do it this way. Is that right? Nope, that's upside down. I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but it says these colors don't run. So this one, I'm thinking I might see if I can come up with a pattern. I have a bunch of red, white, and blue fabric. Maybe I'll come up with a pattern to make a table runner that I can put out, you know, between Memorial Day and 4th of July type stuff. But I love this. So it did say for the whole box, but I could feel another lady who had actually been there before me, but she hadn't gotten to that box. She was looking at something else when I started looking at the box, but I could feel her staring. I could feel her eyes. And I thought, oh, you know, I don't need this much fabric, but I really love this and this. So what I ended up doing was, you know, without making a big deal out of it, I just picked up these two pieces and I just walked away and I started looking at other stuff. And then when I kind of glanced back, I could see she was going through the box and she picked out a few pieces that she wanted. And I told myself, okay, if she's been here a while, she'll probably grab that and then go pay and she'll, you know, leave. So I thought, all right, let her get what she wants because I could feel it. She wanted something out of there. And then I went back and then I bought the whole box. And because she had already bought something out of there, the lady dropped it down to $3 for what I grabbed because there was quite a bit here. And I thought, yeah, that's fair. I mean, even $4 was fair for what was left and everything. Like this has got to be 2 to 3 yards at least. I mean, judging by the thickness. But yeah, I love this one, but I gravitate towards anything that's blue. So that's gonna go in my stash. Now this is nice. This is some nice felt fabric, and I'm actually wondering how this would work, and I don't know, as using for maybe like a quilt backing, the softness of it and that. I know there's something called cuddle fabric, but I think that's quite pricey, so I may try a small project. And actually, this is a good size for a backing for like a lap blanket. So I'm almost thinking maybe what I'll do with this piece, because I love the pattern and everything, maybe what I'll do is I'll make a smaller lap blanket for myself and see how this would work as a, you know, putting on as the back of a quilt. As it's nice, it's soft, it's warm. I think that's what I'm going to do with this. Maybe one of my next projects is actually going to be something for myself. Because I've picked up fabric over the years that I love, you know, I want to use for myself, but I never get to making anything for myself. Usually it's either I've made one for my husband, I've made a few different ones for my son, and I made one quilt for a friend. Yeah, I really haven't done any. I can't think of anything. Yeah, I really haven't done any for myself. So that'll take a lot of planning. Oh, this is nice. This has kind of got that, like, that old bandana style kind of pattern to it. Yeah, not enough here to do a backing in that, so this will have to get pieced out for... You know, my husband used to make these jester hats. Maybe if we can find the pattern for that, maybe I'll use some of this on that, something like that. He'll have to teach me how he does that. Okay. And here's a small piece. This is nice stripe one. It's maybe a fat quarter-ish, something like that. But yeah, I love finding this stuff. black felt. And this one, oh my goodness, what on earth? This is, whew, this is big. A couple yards maybe. But it's got lots of wrinkling here. Oh, it's got some holes here at the bottom. Like it got torn. It's alright. I'll just iron that out, trim it off, and that'll be fine. It's interesting. It's got this pattern on the front. Like I said, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. And then it's got like a pinstripe on the other side. So it's almost like a double-sided fabric because you can't see both patterns through each side. You can only see what's on the outside. Okay, now this one, this piece, wow. Oh, excuse me. I don't know how many yards this is, but this is very large. I really don't want to open it completely up, but there has got to be, oh, I'm thinking maybe 5 to 6 yards here, judging by the weight and how many, you know, passes I see here. So definitely got plenty of that. That might make a quilt backing at some point, a large one, because there's so much of it. So we'll have to figure out how to tame this thing down, though. It's quite large. So that is it for this one. Just put all of this back in here. Over on the cross side, I spend more time getting stuff and then trying to figure out where everything can go. Okay, and then this will go over here. And I gotta bring the little fairies upstairs. Oh, yeah, these were nice. These, I think these were like little sticks you put in, you know, like Christmas boxes or something. And there was quite a few, and some of them actually had the plastic still around them, so they hadn't even been used yet. But that's another thing I want to try to get into. I used to make Christmas wreaths out of real material, pine or you know, whatever I could use. I forgot what it's called, what my mom used to use, because I remember we used to walk around in the woods for a couple of hours picking it. And it's like a greenery. It was this ground cover that would grow everywhere behind our house. And I remember multiple years in a row we would go and pick tons of it because it was very small, but it made gorgeous, gorgeous wreaths when you had enough of it. And it's funny enough, I don't remember. I haven't seen that ground cover in years. Of course, I don't go walking through the woods like I used to either. So, but anyways, you know, I do use like pine, you know, different things like hemlock branches and things like that to make wreaths now. So, so the other thing is it's getting to that time where I need to start deciding what I'm going to do for submissions for the fair. Now the fair is at the end of August. I have to see what I have done. Usually they like your items to be within the last year. The Farmall quilt, once I will be finishing that soon. Once that gets completed, and I am going to give it to my friend, but with the caveat that I may need it back for a little bit during the fair time. And I know he'll be fine with that. So yeah, I'll have to say, okay, here it is right now, but around August, like the last week of August, I'm going to need that back for a few days. Because that one I think is going to be the best one that I've done this year. So And maybe I can get another one done in between, but I don't think so. I mean, Jesus, I started that one in September, and it's just, when I have time to work on it, unfortunately, and I'd love to have more time to work on these things. Um, but it never seems to happen that way. But I am starting to collect some of the items that I have done recently, and I am starting to put those aside. And now then I'll have to look and see the fair entries and stuff. I usually do roughly the same items. A few years ago, I entered a lot of garden items, but with the new house and everything, I haven't done much for a garden this year or last year. I usually do peppers, tomatoes for sure. I put some onions out, but those are starting from seed right now. And in New England, when you start from seed, things like onions, oh, I may get chives at the end of the year. But they just don't produce. You'd have to start them inside in a nice greenhouse or something to get really good onions. You may see some different types of content coming out. I really want to do some cooking stuff. I got my mom's old cookbook out, and I really miss her cooking. So I would like to. She had a certain way of writing her recipes down, and I thought, oh my goodness, I've got to decipher these. I'm like, nobody else is going to know what she means by this. I know because I cooked with her a lot. So I would actually really like to do that, and then recreate the recipes, and then give them, make a couple of little books or something, and then give one to my nephew and one to my son. My son is super picky eater. I'm hoping when he gets older that will change. But what I want to do is, and I feel like the cooking can be considered like a craft. I was going to start a whole different channel just for that stuff, but I feel like I'm just going to put the cooking videos in their own playlist. I think is what I'll end up doing. In that, because trying to maintain and remember which channel you're on, and I have two that I go back and forth with what I do work wise here at home, and then my craft channel. It's very difficult. I've actually had that happen before where I upload to one channel and then realize, oh, I'm on the wrong channel. So, trying to maintain a third one, which we still may do that as a family one, but I think the cooking one, mostly recipes of my mom's, I'm probably going to keep that on my craft channel because ultimately I'm going to make it into a book or a couple of books. And I think what I'm going to do is it's going to be, like a generation cookbook because most of the recipes my mom learned from my dad's mom, my grandmother, because she was living with them, and they were Polish family through and through. So there's a lot of like Polish type recipes and things like that. And she learned most of her cooking knowledge from my grandmother. So, it's where the recipe started from her. And then what my mom did was she just wrote them down. But the way she wrote them down, doesn't it explain how to put the ingredients together? Certain things that you kind of need to do and you kind of need to know, but it's not written on the cards. So I got to rewrite everything out. And then I'm probably going to test them myself, and then I will put them on